Hello, my fellow Trollops. I come to you today with the final installment of The Way We Live Now. This is talking about chapters 81 to 100. So, spoilers abound if you're just looking for a kind of a general review without any deep well, I don't know about deep, but discussion of the final bits of The Way We Live Now. You should tune out now, and you could look at my first one, I guess. So yes, the final bits of The Way We Live Now, which it's funny, I kind of got disappointed. I don't know, disappointed, but a little bit kind of like a whiffle of like, oh, okay, August Melmont, he's facing ruin and he takes poison and dies, after making kind of a bit of a drunken spectacle of himself, in the House of Commons. And it's like, oh, okay. And, that happens relatively. Trollope always has his, like, I guess it's when it's thick books. It's not actually this book, but it's a book that's kind of this thick. When it's books this thick, the climax happens, and then it's like, and then Trollope in his very Trollopean way sort of settles everything else, all the other various storylines. So it was like, oh, there goes Melmotte. All right. And a part of that seemed to be like, Trollope does not go for drama. Maybe perhaps more of a Dickens thing where there'd be some kind of exciting climax. He has he ruined himself and he committed suicide. Kind of like, okay, yeah, like he went home and took poison and they found him dead. Just like, oh. But then as we go on and we get the rest of the resolution of this book, it got deeply weird. There's almost it's kind of this masochistic kind of kink thing going on. I guess most highlighted with Roger Carberry, who has decided to basically put himself in this bizarre position of, well, I'm no longer going to be a suitor. You're not going to love me, so I'm going to become your dad, and I want you to you and the guy I hate to come and live with me in the country where I can be your dad and I can be a grandfather to your son. And I mean, he's setting it up as like, I'll be able to pass on my thing. I've aged out. I am no longer, but there's sort of a weird kind of like, I'm going to castrate myself. I'm no longer viable as a mate. And therefore, I will become kind of this weird kind of what to me feels like really creepy companion. I don't know if that's other people's reaction to Roger Carberry. I find him an unsettling figure at the end of this. Like, just like this weird, like, I'll just sit in the corner over here while you guys are husband and wife. I mean, I know Trollope isn't going there. That I went there probably says more about me, but it's just like, it seems really it seems very odd to me, and makes me wonder about all the other stuff that I, as a loutish citizen of the 21st century, miss in Trollope. There's also stuff like with Miss Hurdle and Paul Montague. You almost get the sense with Miss Hurdle, it's like all her other relationships have been wild and tempestuous, and in the end, she still loves Paul, and it's like, I will always love you, and I'm gonna always keep that, that, I think it's the locket or picture of you, and I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna live my own life, but I will always love you. There's a bit of that kind of that martyr, martyr thing, but there's also the sense of like, well, she's had all these relationships previous to this, which have been violent, have been abusive, and it's like, it shows a pattern in her life. I'm not blaming her for having abusive partners. I'm just saying that has a pattern where she seems to kind of to fall into that. And as much as that she seeks that out, it's like Paul does seem to be like a poor choice. And then there's indeed a way that she wants to take him back to America and turn him from the quiet Englishman into kind of a wild man himself, to kind of match whatever energy she is looking for. So that when, but of course Paul just a wet noodle, and he goes off with another wet noodle in Hedda. That seems to be fine. And though there's that weird thing of like when Hedda goes to visit Miss Hurdle, there's just this whole thing of like, there's this thing now, now that she was told that, however, this is Hedda saying, now that she was told that however false her lover might have been to this other woman, he had been absolutely true to her. The woman had not spoken kindly of Paul, had seemed to intend to speak of him with the utmost severity, but she had spoken so to acquit him of all sin against Hedda. What was it to Hedda that her lover had been false to this American stranger? It did not seem to her to be at all necessary that she should be angry with her lover on that head. So it's like, oh yeah, he was completely a crap. He proposed to this woman, did all this stuff and then just abandoned her. But, oh, that's fine. That's just her. I don't care. It's me that I care about. And it's like, there's some kind of a weird thing going on there of like, well, he loves me. Who cares if he loved her and tossed her aside? It's like, there's just some weird dynamics going on there. And I mean, there's the whole dynamics of then her and Paul going off to live with Roger Carberry, which, as I've said, kind of weirds me out. And then there's the relationship between Lady Carberry and Mr. Brunn, who basically it becomes this kind of a dominant relationship. Yet again, Mr. Brunn becomes the dominant guy who's telling her what to do. I mean, he gets her to turf Felix and ship Felix off to Protestants in Prussia, which is, great. But there's also just this thing of like, it's like, no, you shouldn't write novels anymore. And indeed, in the end, there's this thing, was it not a career enough for any woman to be the wife of such a man, to receive his friends and to shine in his reflected glory? Which, as much as Trollope has definitely painted her as a kind of vainglorious, puffed up woman who is a terrible writer. There's a part of me that goes, oh, is this kind of pro-writer Trollope who's looking down upon all these women who, basically the only way that they can actually make a living is to write, and him kind of scorning these women for their efforts in the thing, and they should actually just go find a husband and bask in his reflected light. So there's that, but there's also just a thing of like, she as well, Lady Carberry as well, is somebody who had this horribly abusive relationship with her husband, actually went away from him, and then had the humiliation of having to kind of come back to him and accept his forgiveness, even though he was the beast, which is probably where a lot of Felix's wonderful psychology seems to come from, or at least, you can see, or little Felix watching all this, it's like, yes, of course he turned out a little monster. So but she's putting herself back in this kind of power relationship where, yes, I guess that's the accepted kind of thing of the time, but it's just like, it's this dominant, submissive kind of relationship, which it's like, okay, there's definitely roiling things going on underneath all the puffery and the ties and the proper Englishness. It's just like, actually, I have to say, like, Marie Melmont, she's going off with Mr. Frisker, this kind of a charlatan. She again is going like, oh, well, my father was this charlatan kind of stuff. And you get the sense that Mr. Frisk is one step ahead. He's juggling stuff too, and say, oh, I'm a big concern in San Francisco. But you wonder how much that, it's like, oh, we're following back into these kind of relationships again. So, so it's one of those things that sometimes I guess I fall into with Trollope. It's like, I want the big exciting ending, but no, Trollope is always going for all the kind of the twisty kind of subtleties and in the end, it's, Trollope both, frustrates my expectations, but also introduces new and bizarre things, and just that. And it's funny because, yeah, the thing that I found the least interesting in this book was Paul Montague, Hedda Carberry, and Roger Carberry. But in the end, I'm probably gonna. That's one of the things I'm gonna take away is that end, that button he put on it with them all living together in a house and it just seeming very, very creepy to me. Please let me know if I'm just imagining things. I project things all the time, I'm sure. So yeah, that's my thoughts on The Way We Live Now, and I don't know what the next one is. I'm sure Steve actually did mention it in a video, but we'll be doing another Lonely Trollope. I probably will be doing another Lonely Trollope with Steve in April. All right, more videos later.